I just love letting this beat ride. It's still, even though it was like the first hit for 50 Cent, I guess How to Rob technically was, but that was a little more underground. Wanksta was that one. This beat, this flow, this video.
What summer was that?
This was 2003.
Was this before or after 8 Mile?
Ooh, I want to say slightly after. I don't know. That's something for Spinotti to look up right there. But that song right there, as it is a 50 Cent Friday, a Payday Friday, a Frisco Friday, and it's a Fix It Friday. That's right, Fix It Friday. The code word is driveway.
Driveway.
Text driveway to 20357 by 10 a.m. for your chance to win a $250 Kirby gift card.
What?
Kirby, your driveway mechanic. That's right, $250 to get your oil changed, get your car clean, get your tires fixed. Kirby.
And why driveway? Because they'll literally come to you at your house and service in your driveway.
They're your driveway mechanic. Check out Kirby.com. That's CURBEE.com. Man, slap that. I get money. I got you, Tyler.
8 Mile, 2002. Wanksta and that album, 2004.
Wow, 2004.
Wow, I thought they were like right on top of each other.
Dude, but Wanksta was on the soundtrack, right? Was it originally on the soundtrack? It didn't.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was on the soundtrack.
I mean, and people, I think when you go back in time, Ja was so big. Ja
was huge.
Okay, he had like 5 consecutive #1 hit bangers with R&B artists and himself.
You're right. They were released at the same time. So November 5th was the Wanksta song, but it was part of the 2004, the album part, but it was right before 8 Mile. So
really?
They were concurrently.
They were kind of with each other. Okay.
2002.
Good. So I knew we were close on that. But like him and J-Lo had the hit. Him and Ashanti had multiple hits. Him and Mary J. Blige had I Cry, which was a classic.
When I Cry.
Yeah, it's so good. The video's phenomenal.
We cry
together.
But Ja did have hits.
He did. And anybody who says they don't bump Ja is full of it.
No, Living It Up.
Yeah.
Was classic. Living It Up. We say, do I do.
He's got a song on Veni Vidi Vici with DMX and Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah.
Ba-dum-ba-dum.
Yeah.
Ba-dum-ba-dum. And I'm telling you, it knocks. Now, I know Jaws, we get laughed at now, but I'm telling you, that Veni Vidi Vici album was pretty sick.
Remember the song with Bobby Brown?
I don't
remember. We got a hit,
one.
dog. Doom, 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 doom.
I don't remember that one.
Thug Lovin'. Also, but Wanksta, I do agree, Tyler. Once Wanksta came out, that ended Ja.
No doubt.
I mean, it ended him.
There's no doubt.
It was over. It was over after that one. It hasn't been over for Howard Beck, man. He's still on a beat. Longtime national NBA beat writer, reporter. Of course, Oakland, San Jose native. Why did it say it's Oakland, man? Why did it say San Jose? Love him. Where did San Jose come from? Anyway, former Lakers, Knicks beat writer. We know he's been covering the league for a long, long time. We love talking to Howard Beck here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. As we say, good morning, Howard. And how about those Celtics? Let's just start right there. As the Denver Nuggets await their opponent from the Eastern Conference, are you starting to get a feeling that maybe Boston could do this thing? Come back from an 0-3 deficit, becoming the first team in the NBA history to do so?
Good morning, fellas. Before I answer that, I can clear up the Oakland-San Jose thing. Born in Oakland, raised in San Jose.
Got it.
So,
what high school did you go to in San Jose?
Santa Teresa.
Santa Teresa. Okay. All right. We love it. We love the 408. Little 408 action there. I love it. Yeah, no doubt.
Love the 408. Wish I had a 408 on my cell, but I don't. Listen, the series is weird in large part because the Heat are weird. I guess the Celtics are also weird. It's just weirdness all the way around. As we know, the Heat took a really unique path to get to this point in the first place, considering that they had the 7th best record in the East and then fell to 8 by losing a play-in game to the Hawks, right? Like, everything about where things stand in this Eastern Conference Finals is based on the Heat having underachieved all regular season, in large part due to injuries, but just in general, they were not as great as they had been a season ago. And, they plow their way through a couple of rounds, and they've got this toughness about them. Like, there's a serious aspect of this Heat team where their team play, their toughness, their discipline allows them to do things that a lesser team with lesser talent shouldn't normally be able to do. And the Celtics always had the most talent not just in this series, but in the Eastern Conference from the moment the postseason started. Even when the Bucks were still in it, the Celtics were the team that everybody knew top to bottom had the most talent and depth. That doesn't always mean you're going to get where you're supposed to go. And we've seen that. The Celtics have played with fire in some respect in every round of this postseason. So when they were down 3-0, the only question I had was, okay, I still think they're the more talented team. And I still think they should have been the ones up 3-0. Maybe not 3-0, but they should be the ones I thought should win the series. The only question I had when you're down 3-0 is, do you have enough professional pride to at least extend the series, make it the gentleman's sweep or whatever? Because the percentages, we know that no one's ever come back from 3-0, but we also know that the vast majority of teams that go down 3-0 cave in the fourth game because at that point you're dispirited. You know that no one's ever come back. You don't believe you can. But the difference with the Celtics is they were in the NBA Finals last June. They know they were the more talented team. They know they shouldn't have been in the hole in the first place. And if any team was ever going to come back from 3-0, this team should be. Because most teams that are down 3-0 are down 3-0 for a reason. It's usually because they don't have the talent. And so this is the weird case where the team that had home court, that had the better top-level players, suddenly is down 3-0. So I wasn't surprised when they won Game 4. And then when you're going back home, I kind of expect you're going to win Game 5. So we've gone from being kind of surprised to not surprised at all. And I think, obviously Game 6 to me is the series, right? The Heat either have to find a way to slam the door shut, or this thing goes back to Boston again. And if the Celtics push us to 7 and are at home, you got to expect they're going to take it.
Yep.
Okay, this is an unfair question, but it was something that we were kicking about before the show started. Is blowing a 3-0 lead worse than blowing a 3-1 lead in the finals?
Wow, that's a hell of a question.
I don't think it matters by round. I think if you're the first team ever to blow a 3-0 lead, that is by definition the worst blown series in history.
Wow. Well, I mean, look, I feel too close to the situation to make a say because I'll be called biased. I do want the Warriors to just kind of move down a little when it comes to thinking about blowing leads because it's what everyone references and it drives me nuts. And it would be very weird for multiple Boston teams in multiple sports to come down 3-0 and find a way to win.
You got to remember LeBron here. He loves the narrative, so LeBron James is not going to let that 3-1 comeback die anytime soon.
Yeah, but Warrior fans want it to die. So we're kind of rooting for this.
I mean, I would just say this. Look, I think coming back from 3-0, again, by definition, is more impressive, and also because of the historic nature of it, if they pull this off, it doesn't mean anybody's going to forget about the 2016 finals, right?
Yeah.
Like that reference will never go away.
Yeah, thanks. I know we're well aware of that, unfortunately.
Hey, I'm not mad about it, Howard. I mean, the Warriors got Kevin Durant 2 weeks later. It's all good.
Well, I'm still mad about it, but regardless, Howard, if the Celtics don't prevail here, are they a team that is going to split up the two guys? Because that has been made a lot. Like, we've talked a lot as a media about splitting up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Are you sure they're going to actually do that if they don't pull this off?
Well, you try to take the emotion out of this if you're the organization, right? So when you're down 3-0 and everything looks bleak, and you're questioning the chemistry of the players and your two stars, and you're questioning your 34-year-old rookie head coach, and you're questioning everything, and the fans are clamoring for absolutely everything. The front office and ownership have to be cool-headed about it, right? So they're just, now that they're back to 3-2 and potentially, wherever this goes, right? You can't. You have to take all the data into account. You can't base your decisions on any one day of this series. So they will, wherever this ends, and if this does end badly, let's say that they lose Game 6 and now it's back to, reckoning with what the heck went wrong. The difficulty is this. Like, okay, you could fire Joe Mazzulla if you want to blame the coach.
One and
and have your, but now you're on your fourth head coach in 4 years.
Yeah.
You can re-examine the supporting cast. You can, and the thing is, it's getting more expensive as they go, right? Jaylen Brown's eligible for that Supermax, and Jason Tatum's going to get a huge deal again. And so there's all kinds of different pressures on them. I think that those two have been together long enough that you can say, well, if we haven't broken through, is there something fundamentally wrong? And is there given all the payroll and luxury tax concerns and everything else that comes with that under the new CBA, would we be better off, trading Jaylen Brown to get a different tag team partner? But good luck finding anybody as talented and who fits. Like,
right.
They do fit well together. Like, in today's NBA, having two wings in that 6'8", 6'6" to 6'8" range who can both do a lot with the ball in their hands and play defense and guard multiple positions and can create shots. Like, good luck finding a Jaylen Brown replacement. I think the one thing to me that I would throw into this equation that's more than just whether or not they have failed as a tandem is simply that, there have been rumblings for some time that, maybe Jaylen Brown wants to be a lead guy somewhere, and that maybe his career aspirations will lead him to a place where he says, I'd be better off. But look, he's now eligible for a supermax that only the Celtics can give him. So if they are going to do that and offer the full contract that he's eligible for, I don't see him turning that down. And then that puts some restrictions on, you can't be traded immediately. So I suspect we're going to see this team and its core together for a while still.
Howard Beck here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game, currently a contributor for GQ Sports, but he's covered the league for so long, formerly of the New York Times, Bleacher Report, and the LA Daily News. Howard does a great job covering the NBA. So Denver awaits. And let's start there before we end it with they're so good. But we'll get a Warriors question in before we let you go, Howard. But Denver, the way they took apart the LA Lakers, that was a very competitive 4-game series. But the Joker, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray played phenomenal basketball. I was really surprised with the way Michael Porter Jr. played against the LA Lakers. What an impressive run for them. And I see a lot of things about them not being compelling enough for the national media. Well, they have a 2-time MVP who was a second-round pick. They've got a guy who's coming off of ACL surgery in Jamal Murray who missed all the last season. We know about Michael Porter Jr.'s back situation. Aaron Gordon from San Jose, Archbishop Mitty. This is a great team with some great stories, including the head coach Mike Malone.
I mean, they got a guy from San Jose. How do you can't get more compelling than that?
There you go, Archbishop Mitty.
Don't disrespect the 408. That was my old colleague and friend Chris Mannix with the monologue yesterday, or I think he was on the Rich Eisen show talking about the Nuggets not being compelling enough and creating an entire firestorm that has probably still not settled down. The broader point that I think Mannix was trying to make, and I think there was more to that conversation than the clip that got posted in his partial defense, is just that when the Nuggets won, everybody was talking about the Lakers. Well, there's a reason for that. The Lakers generate a lot of drama, and LeBron James generates a lot of drama, and the Lakers are always compelling. LeBron's always compelling. I don't think that it's the Nuggets aren't compelling. It's that if you're going to be put out by the idea that there wasn't enough focus on the Nuggets winning versus the Lakers losing, well, there's a reason. Yeah, and is the NBA national media sometimes over-indexed on Laker talk and LeBron talk? Sure, of course. But when LeBron leaves out there this little coy thing about I might consider retiring, and there's all the implications about that. No one actually believes he's going to retire, but why is he putting it out there? That discussion, of course, is fascinating. And we got plenty of time to talk about the Nuggets going to the finals. I'm not justifying or defending. I'm saying that is just the reality.
Well, Howard, how about the way the product is packaged? Because I think that is a big issue. Like for me, I watch all sports, right? I watch baseball. I watch, whether it's the playoffs or my San Francisco Giants. I watch the NFL nationally. Clearly, we all watch the NFL. When I see ABC's Saturday coverage, for example, and I'm using them as an example, and they go to the pregame shows, it is all narrative-based BS. And then you contrast that with what you see on Fox's America Game of the Week for baseball, or NBC on, was it Sunday Night Football on NBC or whatever it is, was they're going around the league. And I get it, there is some narrative stuff, but it's such a different watch than when I'm watching that particular ABC Saturday game. And I think the league itself needs to talk to their television partner and have a hard discussion about how they're talking and preparing content. Like, I think instead of just blaming it on the media, blame it on some of their TV partners.
Listen, fair. There needs to be a balance. And, I think in this era of, analytics, everything being able to be measured, Our written content is measured on the internet these days in a way that you couldn't back in a purely print era.
Quantifiable clicks.
And the networks, it's the same kind of thing where I just think everybody has kind of recognized that NBA fans, I don't know how it goes in the other sports. I just know that in the NBA fans will engage with and get really hyped about trade discussions and trade rumors and free agency. Everybody's traffic spikes in that, last week of June with the draft through the first couple weeks of free agency in July. Everybody's traffic spikes around the trade deadline. Like these things, and of course the finals are generated on their own, and that is about the game for the most part. But once everybody has kind of recognized what gets fans going, then everybody kind of says, "Oh, we need to do that more." This is why you see so many aggregation sites. This is why you see people literally chasing traffic in a lot of quarters of of sports media now. And is the balance out of whack? Absolutely. There's a balance there somewhere that needs to be struck, and I don't think you're wrong in that the league probably needs to be more assertive with its broadcast partners. I don't know what those discussions are like. I'm not there, so maybe they have talked about that. Who knows? But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sometimes the pregame and halftime shows have nothing to do with the game itself.
Oh, it's embarrassing.
That's exactly my point.
No, it's
Good.
embarrassing.
Thank you,
Even last year during the finals, but leading up to the Celtics-Warriors finals, turned out to be a damn good series. It was all about Kevin Durant and his trade demands and everything like that. So it's a lot there. Real quick, before we let you go, Howard, we do thank you for the time. The Warriors. Real quickly, right? We're going to go rapid fire. Does Bob Myers come back to the Golden State Warriors as president of basketball operations?
I don't have an intelligent guess there. I would be surprised to see him walk away because of the work that still is to be done or could be done. And because of the relationships he has with so many people there, I think it would be really hard to. But as I understand it, he also has some young kids who he would like to spend more time with, and that job is a beast.
Yep. Draymond Green, will he be back with the Golden State Warriors next season?
My best guess would be yes.
All right. Klay Thompson.
Yes.
Jordan Poole.
50-50?
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of levers you can pull to try to replenish or restructure the supporting cast. And given his contract, now I don't know what his market value is given that contract. It makes it a little bit more difficult. But there are teams out there that could certainly use him in more of a lead role. Trading Poole would not surprise me in the least, just because there aren't too many other ways you can go.
And you know what? I'm not even going to assume it now. I'll just ask you. Jonathan Kuminga. There's a lot of talk about him. Do you see him back with the Golden State Warriors next season?
Maybe it depends on what else they can do, right? Like if you traded Poole and that got you enough back, maybe you're still holding on to Kuminga and Moody. If you're not able to trade Poole, again, not that many levers to pull. So if it's not Poole, got to be one of the other young guys.
All right, Howard, you're good to us, man. You have yourself a great holiday weekend. Thanks for the intel, man. These playoffs have been really, really good. And boy, Boston wins tomorrow night. We got a great Game 7 on Memorial Day. I'm sure we'll all love that, including the NBA. Howard, have a great holiday weekend, buddy. Thanks for the time today.
You too, guys. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Anytime. Howard Beck, currently contributor for GQ Sports. Been covering the league for over 25 years. LA Daily News. Was a Knicks beat writer. Worked with him over at Bleacher Report. Howard Beck with a lot of intel there. So,